with our first head-to-head matchup this month. Gonna be our fourth head-to-head matchup session. I know we haven't had a lot. It's been a little better for many people to actually go for the replays instead. Unfortunately, we are getting a few lag spikes. I hope both players are okay in terms of their connection. But yeah, let's introduce our players right now. On the top right, we have eXoDash on that red Protoss. Ooh, that's a hard lag there. On the bottom right here, we have Mausami on the blue Terran. So between these two players, it has been a storied rivalry so far. eXoDash losing out on the previous head-to-head against Mausami with a 2-3 score. Mausami actually running away with it by the fourth map with a 3-1, but eXoDash able to just eke it out in a very funny game 5 where Mausami got his siege tank stuck behind his factory. And besides that, let's see right now if Fireside LE will be a little different. And what is this? Mausami gonna set up a command center on the top right immediately. Very interesting position. And looks like he wants to play a 2v1 scenario in this fight. Like, it's like, I'm gonna make a base here. I'm gonna pretend I have a teammate. Now, in the meantime, in the backline, we do have a barracks being built here by Mausami as well. Outside of the base, can be used potentially to wall in, or can be used to allow the Reaper to get a little more distance. Now with the TVP, the biggest thing to note is that this does not need a wall on in too much. You can wall in as a Terran a little bit if you want to against a hefty Zealot army, against some Adepts going into your mineral line as well, but it's not as important against something like a Protoss, and we already have Stalkers being built on the gateway instead. Chrono Boost is out and about. And do you guys prefer this layout? I think I've grown to like this layout a lot more. It shows a lot more and looks a lot sleeker, showing more of the map along the way. Now an orbital command being built here by Mausami, and we will see a reactor core being built as well. Gonna be double pumping potentially those marines. Here comes a probe right now, just looking at the Terran base, sightseeing right now here on Parasite. Now as you see, the enemy guilds rotating this top right base here for Mausami might be quite cheeky, because this is going to be a forward position, yes, and he can still defend this with a good number of production buildings around this base. But interesting to note though that he is going to go for the orbital command instead of something I would assume like a planetary fortress, but we'll see if he will play aggressively into the later of the night. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight, and thank you guys for tuning on in, because this has been quite a new experience for me. It has been such a good way to cleanse myself of some fast-paced Overwatch with a little slower StarCraft, a little easier to talk about it, and just relax along the way. Anyway, we have now Blink being built here by eXoDash, and I like this composition. Blink Stalkers has always been my personal go-to. Very biased right there in terms of the comp. And Blink Stalker is something that you can use with a lot of, you can use against a lot of potential units. Now Mausami gonna be double pumping Marines. He also has a Widowmine ready in position, and I know Tunneling Claws has been buffed to give him the previous invisibility that the Widowmine really deserves. But anyway, Warp Gate now gonna be ready in around 10 seconds, and this will allow eXoDash here to just build up a number of Stalkers to the maximum. Will we see the legendary 200 Stalker count with just Blink and maybe +1s on ground? I wouldn't know. Interesting though that he is just all in on Stalkers. 3 gate, gonna be a Cyber Core, gonna be a Templar Archives, gonna be double base, but we are not seeing any Robo Facility. We are not seeing anything of a Stargate timing attack. Instead, we will see the defensive Blink Stalkers and a Shield Battery to boot. So I'm thinking that this is gonna be eXoDash with a pseudo counter attack. He's gonna go for some ultra micro plays. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be in front. No, I'm gonna be back. No, I'm in the front. I'm gonna be in back, and I'm just gonna make it happen. But to note this, Mausami does have the advantage. He does have 3 bases right now, and look at the minerals go here for the Terran, especially when the mules are into play. The Blink though being built as of the moment, and for eXoDash now, he has a number of quadriplegics ready to go again. Gonna be 4 legs good, 2 legs back. Let's go Stalkers, let's go Stalk. But here for Mausami, it looks like it is going to be another day at the factory. And speaking of the factory, building up those stage tanks, we are going to see the one starport as well. And the thing to note is, it is Mausami double pumping those Widow Mines right now. So this is gonna be very defensive between these two players. They are taking their sweet time, and it's okay to see a game like this. It is like a pseudo 20-minute no rush kind of thing, kind of deal back in the community days. But here for eXoDash, if he knows that the aggression isn't there, he should maybe expand a little more. I guess he's playing this more safer than he should be, because he doesn't want to get poked down by something like a Reaper or some drop play. But no cannons yet in the backline. We get charged here for the Twilight Council as well. The Forges now gonna be built in duplicates, and let's see if eXoDash can get the double pumped upgrades to go. Hopefully guys, you are catching up on the stream, and hopefully guys that you are enjoying how the things look right now. Gonna have the, if you guys do need a little help in terms of casting anything StarCraft related, you can always just choose in the options what overlay you want, and there is also something like the WECS mod to allow games like this to show these icons along the way. Double Chrono Boost right now, +1 coming in for the ground attack and the ground armor here, gonna be more hefty here for eXoDash. In the meantime, here in Farmville, let's see Mausami right now, just keep building those Widow Mines. Maybe we'll see some Groom Mines later on if they find their partners. Interesting note, we have our Ravens here, and I feel like the Raven could be good with Interference Matrix, can be a little pesky with the Auto Turrets as well. And we will see a Fusion Core. Is this gonna be the Battle Cruisers I've been waiting for? Mausami looking like he wants to go big, or he's gonna go home. And interesting to note though, that even with this Fusion Core being built, he doesn't have too much gas to work with to build up those Battle Cruisers. But maybe, just maybe right now, let's see what eXoDash is gonna be up to. He has an observer ready to go, and this is the first time eXoDash has scouted out his opponent. Here comes the observer, and the missile turret gonna blow it up. Now we do see that eXoDash knows that this army is gonna be heavily fortified, and he's just gonna wait on out. Again, we are gonna get a third base instead here. And in the meantime, one deep server's just chilling, waiting on to see if there's gonna be a third in this scheme of things. But note right now, eXoDash has seen that there is no base here where we are looking at as of the moment. So you might think that Mausami is only on 2 base, hasn't been able to scout out the top right as of yet. But now we do see the +1s going in for the Protoss. Here comes the Stalker and the Zealots. This is a really old school army here in terms of StarCraft 2. Gonna be a pseudo Wings of Liberty style, and we are not seeing anything like Adepts. We are gonna get High Templars instead, and here come the Colossus with Thermal Lance being built, and I really feel like eXoDash a blast of the past in this composition. Mausami on the other hand, for some reason, just floating above the water here, just making some marks with the thrusters. And this is the legendary scouting barracks ready to go. Production is gonna be my game, and scouting is my name. The Yamato cannon now being built, and here's the third command center in the natural progression of it. And it's gonna be another cheeky expansion for Mausami. Now he does have the crossroads for the time being, and let's see if Dash can actually spot this out. If I were Dash, I would have been able to actually just look around, maybe just keep on with the observers. Like, if I play an RTS, I usually, when I first got a unit, I just go click, 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 click. But maybe, just maybe, Dash is focusing on to the unit production instead. And honestly, you wouldn't really expect it unless you actually see the whole map. Now extended thermal last is gonna be built, and oh, we are gonna get advanced ballistics here for the side of the tech lab on the starport. What does that actually do? What does that actually do? I'm not very sure. I think it has something to do with the Liberators, I believe. Or I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We'll find out later on what the advanced ballistics was being built for. Here comes the upgrade right now for those Widow Mines to make them a lot more potent and just to allow them to be as sneaky as they can. Just rocking out now onto the Terra music. We have Giraffes ready to go. In the meantime, we do not still see eXoDash spotting out these 2 bases. Mausami, on the other hand, does not really have a good idea of what the mech units behind this Nexus is. But don't spend it all in one place. Ah, sweet announcer right there. But speaking of, the thing to note here for Mausami is he should just have the natural progression of things. If Dash isn't attacking right now, he either has one of 2 things: scary mech or scary air. And looks like it is gonna be a focus on some anti-ground capabilities with the siege tank creeping, and of course the battle cruiser. Look how big this is. Drilling Claws is the name of the with the mine up there right there. Look how hefty this Hyperion looks like, Trial, and this is gonna be both squads trying to go for the 200-200. Probes now just placing some pylons around the map, allowing some warp gate cycles to actually go that way. We are gonna see another base here, double gateways now being pumped up, and I like this from eXoDash. Oh, this is what happened. What happened? Are we okay? Ooh, it's the spick. It's the spick. That's why there's lag. Lamau. Yeah, unfortunately, drop na lang. Unfortunately for Sander. Kaya pala, that's why D-lag din ako. Okay. But it's okay, guys. We are just getting a few intermittent shuffles right there. And as we are waiting on with the drop assembly. Yep, there you go. Sander gonna leave the game. And we will see now eXoDash building up on this fort. But Mausami, though, on 5 bases, they're not as efficient as they could be. And no attacks should happening as of the moment. Looking at the units right now, we are going to possibly see the +3 here for the side of the Protoss. And a fully maxed out 200-200 Protoss army in terms of upgrades is very, very scary. The Liberator, though, just having a field day over the pond here, over the lily pads. And we'll get into the backline. But here comes the Stalker. But one Stalker isn't enough. Good blink forward now from eXoDash, getting out of the line of sight. But the warp cycle there just fended off. Now one of the Stalkers gonna get 2 hit. No! It stays alive thanks to that extra armor. Because the +2/+2 in ground working out in their favor. In the meantime, we are getting some ship upgrades here and some vehicle plating as well, as we are gonna see another max out here for Mausami. Unfortunately for him, he's supply block with a few workers not really doing anything. Could be a little more efficient. Both players right now just floating on, and Mausami now knows what he's up against with those strikes. But here comes eXoDash. Instead, he wants to go on the attack. The Giraffes already going into the front, and here comes the Archons to tank it up. The Widow Mines not in position. The SCV is dying one by one, and here comes the Whittle down. Mausami, though, is in a still good spot, has a lot of minerals to work with, only gonna lose those workers, but eXoDash now feeling confident about this attack. No real counterattack there from the Terran, and this will allow eXoDash to just march on back with no losses. Look how big those units killed are. Worker count right now, 19 SCVs dying in that fight. Perfect timing right there from eXoDash, as Mausami looking to just build up once again. The real question right now is, what can Mausami do? He does have the advantage in terms of the bases, and what he can do is just keep maxing out those battle cruisers and just send them off. In the meantime, eXoDash decided to check around the map. Here comes the Zealots, and we are going to see a Planetary Fortress try his best to take out those Zealots, but of course the Warp Prism just waiting on for another cycle of reinforcements from Ire. This is going to be a takedown on this PF after 2 kills, maybe 3, but more Zealots now marching on in, and the mineral count for eXoDash is going to be going down thanks to the investment there. But of course, the Zealots are a very strong unit, especially with those charge. The thing about the Protoss is their basic unit is very strong in essence. And oh, the command center actually falls to the siege tank damage. Unfortunate there from Mausami, not able to actually micro that one out. A few Zealots now tossed into the fray. This is just to clean up. In the meantime, we are going to see a few probes die down there as the last of the Zealots just die along the way. So Mausami there having to kill those Zealots who were on the attack. In the meantime, eXoDash, it was half a scouting army and half a creep cleaning count instead. The Liberator, though, already with 6 kills, and Mausami just playing very cheeky against those workers. Now this base, though, hasn't been scouted out yet, and we have a cute little polar bear there. On the other hand, here on the bottom left, the Warp Prism just chilling. Let's see what the... Oh, it's just gonna be a clean sweep here for eXoDash. All he's doing right now is just sending out the Stalkers one by one. We are gonna see a Fleet Beacon now, and 4 Stargates ready to go. This might be Tempest here for eXoDash, because the Tempest has been changed to be a little more agile with less HP, but a lot more effective along the way. Now the Zealot, let's just watch the Zealot have a fun time there. Scans now coming on in and spots out the A-move party here of eXoDash. This is probably just one control group who's ready to go, ready to let it rip. But in the meantime, I would actually suggest either of these players go for the drop instead. Mausami still chilling with those battle cruisers, ready to go with a tactical jump at any time. Interesting, the siege tanks. The siege tanks look like some weird little catapults, but at the same time, they are just ready to go for the creeping. Mausami now floating another base in, and here we go with some pokes. eXoDash just slashing on. Will it be enough? Here comes eXoDash putting on the pressure, and look at that, the poor SCVs just running around like it's Black Friday. The Zealots instead just maiming those SCVs, and it's just gonna be a tough time at work. Honey, what happened to you? Why are you all bruised up? You know, some aliens came in and just chopped up Bob. Oh, that's really sad, dude. But it's okay, you know, I'm gonna get some overtime pay, and I'm gonna be able to hop away with 1 HP. Do you think an SCV with 1 HP only means that only the pilot is alive? But as we do have the Zealots now forcing the Orbits Command to lift off, this is gonna be interesting though. eXoDash is already at 200. He does have a lot of minerals and gas to float with. He can just expand behind this and go for the attack. And then every time that eXoDash just waits on, thank you for the sub there, Osh. Thank you, my friend. But as I was saying, with eXoDash just waiting on in this fight, it is gonna be a lot of more time for Mausami to just tank up along the way. Thank you. I'll give you a thank you there in the chat. But see, here comes the Stalker set now, and the Colossus just melting everything down. The Observer in position, but the Widowmine gets the hit. Now it's gonna be a tough task, and the anti-armor is gonna connect. Here come the Widowmines popping those Stalkers, and in the meantime, it's eXoDash leading with the Archons instead. The Battlecruiser fleet forced to come on out, and Mausami just looking to get the trade here. He's just gonna fly around as these guys can fight while moving, and it's gonna be a little more agile here for Mausami. eXoDash forced to just lose his whole army there, and we have the tactical jump right now. Mausami knows this is time to shine. Carrier's not ready to go yet, and the Automato Cannon now charging on in, taking down 2. Perfect timing here from Mausami. Good counter attack, and the pistols. Here come the Plasma getting the takedowns. Archons now warped on in, but will it be enough? The shield battery trying its best, but it's just not working out. We are gonna get vehicle plating level 3 right now, but in the scheme of things, Battlecruiser fleet just able to tactically warp on in. It's like Star Wars, like Star Trek, like every kind of sci-fi. The Carrier looking to get a poke, but is gonna get poked down instead. The poor Interceptors not knowing what to do. And I was thinking, eXoDash was gonna go for these Tempest first, especially against something like a Battlecruiser, but instead, one for the Carriers, and that's GG! Mausami gonna take that first one. Huge play there, and Mausami getting the first map of the day.